Hey everybody, what's up? It's Thursday, and I'm your host, True Life Ted, here with Ohio Trans Kings. We made it to week 17, and our topic this week is what have been the worst moments of our transition to date. So, I've been transitioning socially and physically since April of 2005. So I've passed that 5-year mark, and luckily I've had mostly positive experiences as far as coming out and just kind of navigating the world under under a male pretense. But I have had some shitty encounters. Probably about 3 or 4 months after I started T, I was harassed by a group of guys as I was walking home. They were drunk. You could smell the liquor on them a mile away. And they were, yelling, "What's that?" And, is it a girl? Or is it a boy? At one point, one of them, grabbed his junk and was like, "I'll give you what you want." And I was pretty pissed off and also pretty scared. That was the first time I'd ever really experienced any negative feedback when it came to me individually or me being trans. So it was kind of unnerving. And probably... let me just back up. The first thing I did as far as my transition was change my name, and then I started T because I felt like having my name changed was really important, because I was, already living as a man, already binding, and all those types of things, and that T would just enhance my ability to pass. So right after I changed my name, I had to carry around my name change papers for a little while until I got my new debit card and credit cards and that type of thing, because I would go to the store and I would give them a credit card that said my birth name, but my driver's license had my new name on it. So be like, "Yes, I'm the same person. Here's my papers." So it wasn't terrible, but it was kind of embarrassing, and kind of made for awkward moments for a few weeks here and there. So that type of stuff happened. Then the crazy drunk guys following me home. Let's see. Unfortunately, since I've been transitioning, I have gone to jail. It was awesome. I had a misdemeanor assault charge, and I ended up doing 2 separate stints two separate stints in jail. And the first time was in March of 2007, which was about 6 to 8 months after I started T, and so I ended up in a female jail area, which was it was okay because I wasn't isolated from anyone. I still had the moobs, so and I had facial hair, and I had my hair cut short and that type of thing, but a lot of the people around me, they just assumed that I was a hardcore butch lesbian or something, and it was fine. There weren't really any issues with that. But the second time around, same charge. Basically, I got tired of going to see my probation officer, and so he kind of off the record suggested, well, if you stop coming, they'll just give you a couple days in jail and all this will be done. So I'm like, I'll take the jail instead of having to pay, the $25 a month to have somebody say, great, you're in school still, awesome. And the second time, I was in administrative segregation because I was over a year on T and I hadn't had any type of surgeries yet. So I looked male for all intents and purposes. I was male, but I still had a mostly female anatomy. So I ended up having to be put in administrative segregation. I was in my cell for 23 hours a day, and it was pretty terrible. Also, they wouldn't let me bring in my binder, even though, it was documented that I was, was suffering from gender identity disorder, and they still wouldn't let me bring my binder in, so I had, to do the 4 days sans binder in just this, scrub looking top, which is pretty traumatic for me. It was pretty awful, actually. So I was actually kind of glad that I didn't have to be out and about with other inmates, because it was a traumatic experience. So let's see, other than that, I would say that those would probably be definitely top of the list as far as bad transition experiences, other than, me losing most of my relationship with my mother. We don't really talk. She decided that she didn't want to have anything to do with me when I told her that I was going to transition. She told me that people in our family don't have problems like that, whatever that means, and that she was never going to have me as a son, basically rejecting everything that I am. So that was really hard, and it still is hard, because my siblings on my mom's side are getting older. Today, June 3rd, 2010, is actually my little brother's high school graduation, and I wasn't able to be there, which was terrible because he and I were actually pretty close. Same thing with my younger brother and my younger sister that I barely know, because she was born after I moved out of my mom's house. So that's been pretty rough, not having that relationship the way I used to. So let's see what next week is, now that I've sufficiently bummed everyone out. Next week's topic is, if I can find it, sorry about the delay. So next week is going to be week 18, and it's biggest fear in transitioning, why it might be affecting you now, and how. So that will be pretty awesome to see, pretty insightful for the rest of the guys, and so we can all see the rest of the guys' videos and mine as well. So keep tuning in every Thursday here on Ohio Trans Kings, and you can also check me out on my personal channel, Transman34. Also on Thursdays, I'm just gonna update these both on Thursdays because that works good for me. And hear about all my personal blah blah blah. Diary of a almost complete man. Alright, so have a great weekend and peace out.